Welcome back to the Limerick Post Show with me, Meghann Scully, and I'm delighted now to be joined by Mags Boland Murphy. How are you getting on?
I'm not too bad, Meghann. I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Now we'll have to go back to when we first met. It was at a Supermax event in Limerick a couple of months ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great event actually.
And it was, of
Really,
course,
really
good news this morning. Supermax is going to start opening their drive-throughs again, which I know an awful lot of people are very happy about. Now,
we
Mags, we'll have to talk about your connections. You are, of course, a Limerick lady, but is it in Wexford you are?
I am Limerick to the core, but I am married to a Wexford man, so living in Wexford at the moment. But I get home as often as I can. I love where I'm from.
Yeah, Limerick's
So
great.
yeah,
It's a great place, great city, great county.
yeah.
So you are from Bofin Consultancy. Can you tell us what exactly your company is?
Okay, so it's a consultancy and advisory agency for businesses. So what we do, Meghann, is we work with business owners and business entities the length and breadth of the country, in Sweden and in the UK, and we've done some work in Sri Lanka as well, across a number of sectors. So tourism and hospitality, construction, food, retail, the media, because I've worked in all those sectors. And we work with business owners that might be struggling with specific challenges. So right now it's COVID, yesterday it was Brexit, tomorrow it'll be something else. And we work with them to overcome the challenges, but also we work with businesses that might be struggling with different specific pieces in their business, like sales and marketing. We help them to plan, to package and promote themselves so that they're getting in front of their ideal clients, they're recharging revenue, and they're building a sustainable business. And that's what we do in a nutshell. We also mentor with Enterprise Ireland, the Leo Network nationwide. We're with 6 different, including recently Limerick. And we are with Intertrade Ireland and Falls Ireland as well. So we do a lot of good work with them as well.
And we are going to specifically touch on tourism today, because I know it's an area obviously you've worked a lot in and you do work in. Tourism at the moment is pretty much gone. It's been flattened. There is, all the pubs are closed, the restaurants, flying, hotels, like you name it. And it must be one of the worst times of the year as well, coming into the summer season. You know, we've missed out on St. Patrick's Day, we've missed out on Easter, and now as of yesterday, all our festivals and our huge race events and everything are gone up until at least September.
Yeah. To be honest with you, my heart is breaking for that tourism sector, because that's where I trained. I trained as a GM, and it's always been around me growing up as well. And we have a lot of clients in that sector, and they're struggling, and it's very hard. I'm at the cold face of it, where I'm seeing the struggles, the specific struggles. They're trying to make sure their employees are looked after, but they're looking at losing a full season, if not a full year of revenue now. And they're one of the backbone industries in the economy. They're one of the industries that brought us a recession. So I think now the government need to step in and need to start supporting them in not, they're not looking to be bankrolled, but they're looking for real support. It's scary. It's very scary, because when they open up again, there's going to be social distancing. It's going to be gradual, and it's going to be the last sector to be opened up from where I'm sitting. I don't know if that's the case or not, but from what I see, I think it's going to be the last sector to be opened up, and that'll take a couple of months.
Yeah.
They really are struggling. But what I would say to anyone in the sector at the moment is, if you can at all, and it's not that this is easy for me to say. It's not. I'm dealing with business owners every day, and we're helping a lot of them through crisis right now. But it's to look at what you can do. It's to look at what you need to do to be ready to hit the ground running the minute you're open. Yeah. Because when that happens, you will not have time to start looking at your website, to start looking at your plans. You will need to be ready to hit the ground running. And that's where a smart, simple plan comes into place. For instance, a lot of our international business is gone. It's gone for this season. It's gone for this year, and possibly the first half of next year. So we need to look at the domestic market. As a nation, we're not going to be traveling. I certainly am not going to be getting on a plane anytime soon. But likewise, other nations aren't going to be. So you have to look and see, well, how can we encourage domestic tourism? How can we look at that now? And as a lot of people know in the sector, there are 2 seasons to it. A lot of people who aren't in the sector don't realize that. You've got your peak season and your off-peak season. Yeah. So look at ways that, how can you use the resources you have right now to build that in the off season, because you're going to have to look and see how can you extend your season. What do you need to review in terms of your packages? How do you need to review your pricing? For hoteliers, the percentage occupancy is going to go way down.
Yeah,
that's a fact, and it's a hard reality. But I think don't just look at the hoteliers as part of the sector. There's leisure activity providers, there's restaurants, there's bars, there's leisure sector, businesses as well. And there's some businesses that wouldn't be specifically tourism, but rely a lot on the tourism footfall for their business. The Leo as well, the Leo network across the country, and we work with a lot of them, they have great supports there. Go and look for help. There's a business continuity voucher there. You should be applicable for it. You're in the right sector. You're driving revenue. The 3 things you need to be ticking are, is your e-commerce right? Are you supporting employment? And are you reaching new markets? And with the tourism sector, you should be able to tick those boxes. If you need to train your staff and upskill your staff, one of our really good clients was on email to me this morning. They want to get their training started remotely. So we're going to split it between face-to-face and remotely. And I think that's smart. That's smart business. They're thinking ahead. They want to get their staff ready to hit the ground running, because it is going to be literally survival of the fittest.
Absolutely is. And I know my friends and I would say, for example, we've had to cancel pretty much all our holidays. Now, we all had holidays booked abroad. We had weekends to London. There was a trip to Ibiza. And now we've all kind of had a chat, and we've decided we want to do a staycation in Ireland. And that is our plan now. So we have kept our savings from our holidays, and we are looking into spending, I suppose, the money in our own country as well. So I think that a lot of people will need to I think a lot of people initially will be nervous to get out there, but as I said, we need to support our own. And if we want to have these next summer, we need to get out there, and we need to go to the restaurants, we need to go to the hotels, we need to avail of all the tourism that's around there, because as I said, we want these companies to last. And I think as well, you hit the nail on the head there about upskilling and training. I think it's a great time for people to be taking up hobbies, or to be, as you said, taking up kind of courses, or just training in different areas. I myself am doing an online course in well-being, and just because I have extra time, and it's really interesting. So I think there is opportunity there to kind of, as you said, have everyone up and running, because even last night in prime time on Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, he couldn't say when things are going to be open again, but as you said, it's probably going to be a case of on a Friday evening going, okay, you can all open on Monday. And as you said, if you're not ready, you're going to be like, what?
Yeah, and I think as well, Meghann, I saw that prime time last night, and it was a very good one. I think, and I was glad that they focused on the tourism sector, because a lot of the time it doesn't get the focus and the recognition that it actually deserves. And I think as well that people need to start. I'm a big champion for supporting local Irish business. I will always support the West, because that's where I'm from. But likewise down here in Wexford, we as a family will buy Irish, buy local produce, buy from local producers. That we have to keep the money in our economy. And one thing that I really was delighted with to see, and I didn't expect to see it, was the way we responded. We responded very independently. We sailed our own ship, and that ship is fighting the battle now well. We didn't wait for our neighbours to get a cold and we catch it. We actually went and did something independently. And I think we've shown our strength, and we've surprised a lot of other countries in Europe in regards to how we've responded so well to it. However, it's an ongoing battle. Yeah. But while we can now, even this morning online, my husband, and he's on the front line, he's on call. So he was doing the shopping online for us this morning, right? But it's a local Irish shop. It's all Irish produce as much as we can. And we're very cognizant of that now, because we need to keep our own money in our own country right now, because that's what's going to keep us up, get us up and running, and get us back to work. The good times will come again, but we're in for a couple of a lean time at the minute.
I think as well, there's one thing that I've noticed, I think that hopefully will come out of this, that seems to be happening right now, and you just mentioned it, is buying Irish and supporting local. I think more and more people now are realising that they can buy their veg, they can buy meat, they can buy so much stuff from their local area. So I think now that's going to be a massive thing for everyone going forward, knowing that they can support their local.
And I think that's important. I think even for businesses themselves, even for us, we use all Irish suppliers. And I think that's something that other businesses need to, don't order from China, don't order from other parts of the country or other parts of the world at the moment, because see what you can do via an Irish entity first. I think that's really important. And you know, there's really good companies doing really good stuff at the minute as well, and they're supporting. They're not selling as such. They're just genuinely helping and supporting each other. And I was delighted to see Pat O'Sullivan from MasterChefs. I know Pat well, and I've worked with him. They have a great initiative, and they're under serious pressure. You know, they're a big outfit. So there's another food entity that's finding a good way to use what they have to support people in during this time as well, because that won't be forgotten. That's goodwill. So that's another thing I would say to bars, restaurants, hoteliers, is to actually support your community.
Yeah.
And be seen to do that, because I think it's really, really important that we build that relationship with our local communities now for the long term.
And don't be afraid as well to share on social media that you're doing something good for the locality, because as you said, people will remember that when your doors are open again, you'll be thinking, oh, I remember that bar did this, or that restaurant did this, or that hotel did this. And I said, you're right, goodwill, I think, and good karma will come back to support you in a good way.
And I think as well, Meghann, with regards to social media, I was doing a webinar with in the States last week with a group of business owners, and it was all around you know, smart sales and marketing beyond challenges. And one of the things that I would say and stress to everybody out there is, just because you've closed your doors, don't stop being active and present.
Yeah.
You need to still be there, because if you don't, people will forget. You know, there's that old saying, if we're not reminded, we will forget.
Yeah.
You know, so people know what you're doing. Be real. You don't have to be suited, booted, and looking perfect. There is no such thing as perfection in these times. I'm here in the office in the house. Our office is closed. You know, and thankfully, the one thing that I have to say is I have a great team of people working with me, but also we embraced remote access systems 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I think learn from that now. Don't drop at the minute the doors are back open again. See, how can that strengthen your business? Because there's only one of me, and the girls help me in the office. I can't be in Donegal and in Wexford at the same time, or in Limerick and Dublin at the same time. So using the remote access that you have and the smart technology that we all have at our fingertips, it's just a question of learning and developing new healthy habits to get the balance right. It'll actually reduce stress in some small way, and maybe increase productivity. So for businesses in the sector and businesses in general, I would say, look and see, how can these systems now support you through this period, but also beyond COVID-19? How can you actually become more innovative and progressive?
Yes, it's absolutely incredible. And Mags, I tell you, I could chat to you all day and all night. But I just want to ask yourself, how are you getting on in the whole lockdown yourself?
I'll tell you, Meghann, I'm a type 1 diabetic and I've asthma. So I was very sick a couple of weeks ago, but I'm okay. But I went into lockdown quite early on, and I decided to close the office quite early, because just for health reasons. I'm grand, I'm fine. I'm used to working remotely. There is a bit of cabin fever setting in, I won't lie. You know, but thankfully, as I was saying to you before the call, we live in the country, and I'm a city slicker, but I love where I live, and just to have that sense of space and get out for a walk with the dogs, you know, it's real life stuff now, and we're all in this together, I suppose. We have no choice. We have to just roll with it as it happens and adapt. But yeah, I'm good. You know, there's a lot of people in an awful lot worse situations, you know.
That's it too. I think we always kind of I try to keep reminding myself as well at times when I'm kind of feeling a bit uneasy. I'm like, we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. We just have to support each other through it, and then support each other the other side of it, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, we will, and just jog on. And you know, I think as well we'll come back smarter and stronger, I think. And I think like we are hitting a recession now, there's no doubt about that. But the last recession, I started my business at the last recession, and some people thought I was cracked. Maybe I was. But the people who actually survived through that recession, and particularly in the construction industry and the tourism industry, were the ones that actually stayed active, worked smart, cut their cloth. You know, I was only saying it to my husband here this morning, what do we really actually need, you know? And I think mental health is a massive piece. Mental and physical well-being through this is so, so important. So, so important.
Absolutely is. It is once you've roof over your head, once you've got food on the table, and you know, you've got like your health as well. It's that they're what's really important at the end of the day.
Exactly. Spot on.
Mags Boland Murphy, it's an absolute pleasure to chat to you again. Of course, Bofin Consultancy is your company. Where can we find you online?
You can find me at bofinconsultancy.com. I love connecting with people. So if you want to connect with me at any stage, I'm on LinkedIn, Mags Boland Murphy, or you just go to the site and you can email me at mags@bofinconsultancy.com. Our site's been redone at the minute, but the existing site is there.
Lovely stuff. Mags, look, hopefully we'll see you soon in Limerick, and stay safe, stay well, and we'll chat to you soon.
Limerick,
Hey!